What's going on, everybody? It is 11:33 p.m. Sunday, April the 24th, 2022, and it has been a while since I have made a video. There's some new projects I stumbled upon, semi-new anyway, that I got pretty excited about, at least super interested in, so I figure I'm going to cover one of those today. Be somewhat of a quick, abridged breakdown of what I've discovered so far, which I've only been researching this for a couple days. And just remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy this. I'm not telling you to sell this. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I'm doing. And if they are of interest to you, you can do your own research and make your own decisions. I'm just a photographer who sometimes makes YouTube videos about crypto. Anyway, you guys can follow me on Twitter at TruePerception3. I'd love to keep growing the following. Done pretty good recently. I'd like to keep that going. Here are our NFTs that we sell. They are photographs that we take. And you can buy them. They're only available on Vagabond right now as my preferred destination for NFTs if you want to be a self-promoter and you don't want to, throw it on OpenSea or somewhere where it's kind of congested. It's a great place to do your own thing, especially if you have like a niche community that you can appeal to. I think it's awesome. You got a couple different things on here. You can have royalties and stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to go over Vagabond right now, though. This isn't a video about that. But yeah, here are some of our NFTs if you would like to see them that are for purchase. Whatever. There you go. Also, over on OpenSea, we have a bunch of domains, most of which will probably not be of interest to most people, some of which might be quickswap.bitcoin. I think it's epic. I don't know if anybody's going to pay 100 ETH for it, but you can always make me an offer. Same with these two. That's very niche and it's only going to go so many directions, but I could see it being very profitable. From the ashes, Codius.x, the ripple effect, I love some of these. They are still for sale. If they're not, you can always make me an offer via DM on any of my channels, or you could look for them on Unstoppable Domains and it will let you make a offer there. So anyway, I started seeing all this stuff with these nodes at the beginning of the year, right? It was strong node. Everybody was making strong nodes. Now I got 5 nodes. Now I got 10 nodes. Proud owner, 20 strong nodes. Passive income, yada, yada, yada. Well, I was still packing my my payments-based tokens, ISO 2022 and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't really paying much attention to anything else that was going on. I don't do meme stuff. I'm not into a lot of the randomness out there. I've been there, done that. I don't really mess with it anymore. I like utility. And then just the other day, I was like, passive income has become such a big target of mine, this far into the year. I just started realizing, okay, these bags are packed to where I feel like they're good. How can I start generating income? So I started staking everything that I had, all this other stuff. And then through some Google searches and some Twitter conversations and whatnot, I ended up getting back on the node conversation. So I started doing some research. The only ones I'm going to talk about here are Strong, Thor, Fire, and VaporNode, which are some of the main ones I kept seeing a lot of that are at least affordable to most people to get involved with. You look at some of these, like the big nodes, you got like AVAX, I think, for Avalanche. I think you have to have like 2,000 or something to do it. They're $75 a piece. So, do that math. I don't have that to just throw up against the wall. You might. If you do, that's awesome. You should look into stuff like that. I wish I was in that position, but I'm not. So anyway, it led me to these. This was Strong, which the chart is limited. I think they changed their token or did something. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with all these, so bear all that in mind as we're talking about it. But what I did notice, and I'm not going to go in depth on these, but what I did notice is a very similar, not necessarily in structure, but you can see Stronger started here, immediately took a dip, retraced slightly, and then went back down into this zone. Thor was similar, but a little different. It raged at the beginning, then took a crash, and we can always. How do I get my? I thought I had it selected. Is that not how you do it? What is going on? Alright, well, I don't know why that's not working, but anyway, you can see where, it raged, took a pretty big drop, and then bounced out of there, and now has continued on a further downward trend. Let's see how far it dropped from there. You're looking at a 95% drop. That's major. To where it is right now from all-time high, you're at 96. Let's go ahead. I'm going to run this tool on all of these just so we can get the idea here. Highest point it ever was, down to where it is now. You got 72%. Fire, another one. He raged on up, and then bloop, took a fall. I'll be honest, from everything that I have researched, all of these projects seem to be decent. They have differences about them that I liked and I didn't like. And then here's Vapor. It did the same thing. They all started, for the most part, towards the end of 21. Vapor took a drop first, then raged, then dropped, then kind of, went through its retrace as well. And then continued downward. Now, the entire market has been going downward. These are brand new tokens. I don't think these aren't rug pulls necessarily. I'm not saying that they're not 100%. They could be. Here we are again looking at, a 95% drop for the most part, 93%. I think this might just be reflecting the market. Some of these, and I'm not sure exactly how the tech works. I'm going to be learning more about that and getting into it soon, but it seems to me that there are pools that get built up, and there's some DeFi mechanisms taking place, and they all contribute to how these tokens fluctuate to an extent. Obviously, buy and sell pressure is going to be a huge driving force of price also, but I think some of that also comes into effect. So when you see the entire market dropping, naturally tokens like this are also going to follow the market, just like all the big blue chips are right now. I mean, everything's red. So a lot of people that I talked to were like, oh, this looks like the devs got paid and then everything's just falling apart, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. But to me, I see where people cared enough for all of these to rage significantly at some point, right? And it's always happened. Well, you don't see it here, but these did rage pretty hard. People were making money off of these pretty heavily not that long ago. So I just look at it as a chance to, if this is something you're interested in, like, which you'll have to decide for yourself, this is a chance to re-enter some of these. I think the tech's brand new. I think that's why you see all of them kind of follow that same trend. There was a surge there through the New Year's, and it kind of tampered off. Then we had Bitcoin, get back up in the low 40,000s again. Everything else followed, and here we go. Very similar across markets. So anyway, so VaporFi seemed to be the one that caught my attention, mainly because of the price point. I mean, your point, it's down, the same amount it raged. I mean, let's see how hard this one actually raged too, because that's a big part of this. From when it was at its lowest, if you got in down here, this would have gotten you, a major increase. Even, it was like 8,500 or something. I didn't even read the exact number. Even from where we are now. Let me, sorry, I'm not used to using this platform. I'm used to TradingView, which is a little different. Even now, if you just pull from here back up to all-time highs, we're talking almost a 1,400% increase going back up. So I see it as very, if you're gonna get involved and you want to see if it's something you're into, it's a better opportunity now than it may have been then for a lot of other people. Just the cost is, we'll get into the minimum cost and everything, and that'll make sense why. So the minimum cost for opening a node is 1,000 of the VPND tokens. Those are gone forever. Whatever you put into your node, that is gone. That is locked into that node, which is what makes it generate the way it does. So just keep that in mind as you're compounding and all this stuff. It's not the same as staking per se, where eventually you can withdraw everything. And to my knowledge, I believe whatever the node is comprised of is locked forever. It's basically it's gone. Now, the idea behind that would be to hodl longer, and eventually, if you start claiming, your profits at that point would eventually offset, and you would still, be profitable from it. But that's the general idea. So, 1,000 of them to get started, which right now I think is like $10 or something like that. They're only a penny. basically. A little less right now. They offer you a 1% return on investment per day, which is pretty cool. That's every day, and then you can compound it too, so it starts to pick up. If you compound it daily, which might not be affordable because of gas fees, you have to pay those in a Avalanche, or I believe you can pay some of the claim stuff now in the Vapor token, but they hit you with a really heavy tax because they're trying to not have the token getting wiped out all the time, I think. And guys, keep in mind, everything I'm saying, this is totally on the fly. I was not prepared for this. My wife and kids, everybody's in bed. I'm drinking coffee and looking at some stuff, and I just figured I would give a rundown on this. So I'll be tightening some of this information up in some separate videos moving forward. But yeah, so this is one of the nodes I made, just checking it out. You can see where it's generating $1.60 a day. I got about $150 or something that I put in it, maybe a little more than that, and then the price went down just a tiny bit, but whatever. It seems like a strategy for this is where you wouldn't necessarily dollar cost. I guess you could dollar cost average on your tokens when you deposit to increase your node size would be an effective way of increasing your making your yield a little more efficient. That's how I'm looking at it anyway. So like I might buy some more tonight now that we've had a 10% drop in price. Then it's balancing everything out. So this just shows you kind of how it works. It's very simple to set up. So if I disconnect here, you literally would go into here. It's a very simple process. You would just click create node. You would go into the thing, and it's very simple. It's the 1,000 goes in, whatever else you want to put in goes in. It hits a couple gas fees through your MetaMask, which is what I use. You can use Wallet Connect too, so Trust Wallet and stuff will work, I think. But I use MetaMask. It's what's recommended. And yeah, it's that simple. I mean, you click a few buttons and this thing throws itself together. So there's no technical knowledge really needed for this to work. All you really do from here is you compound, or you can deposit. You can change your RPC endpoints, which like if you wanted to, I picked Miami's closest to where I live. You can set it however you like. It's kind of a cool thing. But the whole idea behind this is to put some tokens in here, compound for a while, and then eventually get to a point where you say, okay, well, I don't need to compound anymore. I'm generating X amount of tokens per day, which I can now use as passive income or continue to compound or do a mix of whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you're rolling it into another investment. Maybe you're rolling it back into this project. Maybe you're just putting it in your pocket and paying some bills. It could be whatever you want to do. That's just the general idea that I'm getting out of it. There are referral codes for in here. I will include mine into the description of the video. If you guys are going to sign up, use that. I'll get a 5% commission on whatever the dollar amount is that you use, or the Vapor amount that you guys use, the VaporNode, VPND, to create your node. So if you guys used, 100,000, I'd get 5,000 of the tokens. Just for simple math. Not saying to even go that hard if you're going to get involved. That's totally up to you. But I saw where another guy who's in the Discord, I don't remember his name, but he was one of the influencers involved with the project. I did look at him. He was running something kind of cool where for all the referral commissions that come in for that node, he immediately stakes to this one node that's all from his referrals. He uses it to do giveaways and stuff like that. So if something like that starts going on, I was thinking about maybe getting it set up and giving away nodes here and there when it builds itself up to a certain point. It's just an idea. I thought it was kind of cool how he was doing that. He's using them for giveaways and stuff. It does have a calculator. Excuse me. You can see what I have in there right now. It's basically worth, that's one thing it doesn't tell you what the total worth is. Let me pull up my calculator real quick. Like I said, guys, this is on the fly. I'm just jacked on coffee, so excuse me for being a little bit on the slop side. Times 0.00981. Yeah, so I have basically $160 worth. So $160 worth, if nothing changed and it stayed the same, in every 30 days, it's pumping out $55. And that's just if you compound for 30 days. You would go up by $55. So, if you compounded daily this whole time, just keep compounding, you can get just $160 up to this. Now, whether or not that's affordable and efficient to do, considering gas fees and stuff, I don't know. I gotta think about that and crunch some numbers. Probably not. I see a lot of people saying do it a couple times a week is like the best route to go as far as that. But I haven't really experimented with that yet. I do know. Where did it say? Yeah. See, so at $160, that's what I was gonna show you. It says I'm estimated to send out $106 or $1.60 a day just off of that. So the 1% thing so far is accurate. I mean, I don't have any reason to think it wouldn't be, but hopefully the token. I think the token's has nowhere to go but up. Really, it can't go too much farther down. That's why I think this is a great entry point for me personally. They also have the documentation page, the governance, treasury, merch store, all that. In order to get the token, you will have to take Avalanche and come here, and you can buy a Trader Joe. I will put this link in the description as well, and you basically just swap for these two. Make sure to keep enough Avalanche in your MetaMask to pay for all your gas fees and stuff. Like you can see, I left a fair amount in here. You don't need to leave that much. That's just because I know I'm going to be compounding and stuff, so I just throw a little bit over here every now and then. They have a lot of documentation here. I'm not going to cover this whole thing, but there's a whole bunch of sections that really go over. They have the diamond hands bonus, so as you hold and don't claim, you can compound, but you can't claim. You can also deposit. You get these boosts that go up. There's a distribution system. They talk about their treasuries investment, what's coming in the works, all this other stuff. This information, I believe, is slightly dated. Speaking to one of the admins in the Discord, he was saying that there is a lot of new information, I'll just say that way, coming out in the near future. So I'm going to wait to really get into everything is super in depth until some of that information is available. That way I don't have to be redundant and keep covering it. But I did do a little bit of research into the project, as much as one can do anyway, or at least as much as I had time to do. I did find their wallet is viewable as far as what's going on with some of their stuff. It shows you what all they have asset-wise locked up, which is pretty good to see. It shows you that, there's some stuff going on. I don't even remember, to be honest, exactly how I found this. I did this all earlier, and I had a few photo shoots today. I'm super scatterbrained, but then this would be the actual wallet for the token itself, though. I think this is like for the project, like their treasury here. Or whatever. Yeah, that's what it is, because they bought a bunch of ape. That's right. So it just shows you what's going on in the treasury, what's the backbone of the project, and then they do have a 1 billion token fixed supply. They do not mine. They will not be printing. None of that. So it is limited. There is a race to the finish line. Who knows where that is? But yeah, so that's a big one for me. The fact that the scarcity on the market will continue to grow because people will be, compounding nonstop. I don't know what happens when that reaches its end, because I imagine that could accelerate pretty fast with some big investment. But this guy did an article. It's a little old, about a month old. If you go through, he just talks about how they did some of their governance stuff. I guess this guy had an issue with some of the stuff, so he went through and he covers a lot of this information. Again, this information is dated. This guy expresses a lot of concerns, actually, which I had some myself coming into this. They all get addressed pretty well. I sat in on an AMA today that was pretty informative. I'm going to stick around for a while and see how things go. I felt like a couple of things seemed a little dodgy, but I also think that you have to hold your cards close when you're running a project like this due to competition and stuff. So I don't think that anybody was necessarily being shady. I think they just might have been strategic in some of their responses, which I'm okay with. Give everybody time and let these things roll out. So it goes through and just talks about the price going down because of the sell pressure being so much greater than the buy, and yada yada yada. It's just got some good information. I'm not going to cover all of this individually. This will also be in the description. Just feel free to hop on down there and check it out. One of the things somebody in the Discord was explaining to me is that one of the things that's super bullish about this project is they have the Vapor chain that is supposed to be coming out soon. And I don't know much about Avalanche. I'm a big XRP guy, so that's where most of my focus has been forever. I'm just now really expanding into stuff now that my bags are where I wanted them to be. And this reminds me of federated sidechains over on the XRPL, although I'm sure the tech is entirely different. Just the fact that basically these subnets that Avalanche will run is basically a layer 2 solution that will take away some of the congestion and the pressure off of the core network and allow it to run on a network that basically runs, I don't know if you would say alongside or on top, however you want to go about that. This is an article that covers tons of it. It's a 3-part chain. They go into all the subnets, talks about all kinds of cool stuff. And then there's also a FAQ that they have in right here that I will include too as well for anybody who wants to really read up on this stuff. I've yet to read these articles fully. I just found that they were informative, so I went ahead and threw them on here. Like I said, I'll be digging into this more. I'm going to keep playing with it. I think tonight, unfortunately, Bitroot is down, which is where some of my stuff that I get to play with is. I was going to add some more to this bag tonight. We'll see if I'm able to do it or not. Guys, just stay tuned for more information. Don't forget, use the referral code if it's something you're into. I'm not giving you guys any advice. This is just what I'm doing. We'll see how it goes. It's super early, guys. This was all started in December for pretty much all these projects, so they're all babies. Who knows if they even survive, but the admins and the devs and everybody in the AMA and in the chats and everything, everybody seems super cool. It doesn't seem super sketchy. The questions are getting answered. Very active. Anytime there's a problem, there's somebody there to help. So, having a good team behind something gives me a lot of hope. And we'll see where it goes. I'm going to quit rambling. And, I'll see you guys on the next video.